Well, hiya, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Wanted to come to you today with a book haul, and this is kind of an accumulation of books from the past, probably, I would be willing to bet about month and a half of things that I have picked up. And I'll be honest, I think there's actually some other things wandering around here. And I sit here and I debate, have I shown you yet or not? And so I just kind of left them out because I think without going back and rewatching a bunch of my own videos, which who wants to do that? I'm not going to show you those. I'm going to show you these because I'm pretty positive I have not shown these. So without further ado, let me get into the books. And actually, I'm going to start off with, I had a couple of them sent in the mail, how many weeks ago? 3 weeks ago. Princeton University Press sent me a couple more books for Historathon. Now, these are more like first quarter Historathon books, which is, if you're not familiar with Historathon 2024, it's a year-long reading initiative to promote nonfiction history here on BookTube. And we've divided the year into 4 quarters. First quarter, which is prehistory to 500 AD. And then second quarter, which we're now in, is 500 to 1500. Third quarter is 1500 to 1820. And fourth quarter is 1820 to the present. And of course, by quarters, we're talking months. So 12 months divided by 4. So we got 3-month quarters. So we are in that, like I said, the second quarter. But these would have went with first quarter, but I didn't get them because they're newer releases. And so I wanted to make sure to show you these. I'll probably I'll go ahead and read the front, the inside cover of these, the flaps, and give you an idea what these books about. And then the rest of these books, I don't think I'll probably read them, or else this book haul is going to last forever. And I got to take my daughter to a birthday party, so I don't have forever. So anyway, this first book, again, from Princeton University Press. This is by Jennifer Roberts, and it is entitled Out of One, Many, Ancient Greek Ways of Thought and Culture. And it's got a really neat cover to it. And like I said, this one just came out 2024. It's from Princeton and Oxford. And let me read the cover to you. So it says, covering the whole of the ancient Greek experience from its beginnings late in the 3rd millennium BCE to the Roman conquest in 30 BCE, Out of One, Many is an accessible and lively introduction to the Greeks and their ways of living and thinking. In this fresh and witty exploration of the thought, culture, society, and history of the Greeks, Jennifer Roberts traces not only the common values that united them across the seas and the centuries, but also the enormous diversity in their ideas and beliefs. Examining the huge importance to the Greeks of religion, mythology, the Homeric epics, tragic and comic drama, philosophy, and the city-state, the book offers shifting perspectives on an extraordinary and astonishingly creative people. Century after century, in one medium after another, the Greeks addressed big questions, many of which are still very much with us, from whether gods exist and what happens after we die to what political system is the best and how we know what is real. Yet for all their virtues, Greek men set themselves apart from women and foreigners and profited from the unpaid labor of enslaved workers. And the book also looks at the mixed legacy of the ancient Greeks today. The result is a rich, wide-ranging, and compelling history of a fascinating and profoundly influential culture in all its complexity. In the myriad ways, good and bad, it continues to shape us today. And so I was pretty excited when I saw this as a choice on Princeton University Press. There's our author, Jennifer Roberts. It says she's a professor of classics and history at the City College of New York and the City University of New York Graduate Center. And then she's got a whole host of other books. Says she wrote The Plague of War, Athens, Sparta, and the Struggle for Ancient Greece, Herodotus, A Very Short Introduction, and Athens on Trial. the anti-democratic tradition in Western thought. And so anyway, I was real excited to pick this up because, of course, I teach world history at school. And, the ancient stuff's just not my cup of tea. You know how you kind of get areas where you specialize, and this is definitely not a specialty for me. So anything new that I can learn, pretty excited about that. So there's one of them that Princeton sent. And here's the other, and this is Birthing Romans, Childbearing and Its Risks in Imperial Rome. And I thought that sounded very, very interesting. And this is by Anna Bonnell Frieden. And I thought this just sounded interesting because I'm always talking to my kids about, just the complexities without having modern medicines and stuff, the complexities of one of the most basic functions of human beings in the reproduction of the new human beings. This stuff always kind of fascinates me. So this one says how Romans coped with the anxieties and risks of childbirth. So across the vast expanse of the Roman Empire, anxieties about childbirth tied individuals to one another. To the highest levels of imperial politics, even to the movements of the stars, Birthing Romans sheds critical light on the diverse ways pregnancy and childbirth were understood, experienced, and managed in ancient Rome during the first 3 centuries of the Common Era. In this beautifully written book, Anna Bonnell Frieden asks how inhabitants of the Roman Empire, especially women and girls, understood their bodies and constructed communities of care to mitigate and make sense of the risks of pregnancy and childbirth. Drawing on medical texts, legal documents, poetry, amulets, funerary art, and more, she shows how these communities were deeply human, yet never just human. Frieden demonstrates how patients and caregivers took their place alongside divine and material agencies to guard against the risks inherent to childbearing. She vividly illustrates how these efforts and vital networks offer a new window onto Romans' anxieties about order, hierarchy, and the individual's place in the empire and cosmos. Unearthing a risky world that is both familiar and not our own, Birthing Romans reveals how mistakes, misfortunes, and interventions in childbearing were seen to have far-reaching consequences, reverberating across generations and altering the course of people's lives, their family histories, and even the fate of an empire. And so I just thought it sounded really interesting. Says that Anna Bonnell Frieden is an assistant professor of history at the University of Michigan. And there's a picture of our author. And so, I'm just real excited about both of those. Thank you to Princeton University Press for sending those to me. Those are going to be, I hope they are going to be fascinating reads. I'm going to learn some stuff. All right, so the rest of these are from used bookstores here, there, and everywhere. Just different things that I found that looked interesting to me, and just wanted to share them with you. So here, and I can't remember where I got all of these. It was a kind of a variety of used bookstores. So anyway, I don't know how many of you out there watched the show Castle. It's been a few years since it's been on, but it's got reruns every once in a while. But I always enjoyed the show Castle, and of course there was and so there's our actor that does the show Castle, and he's in The Rookie now. And my wife and I watched that show. We really enjoy that one as well. But there was these police procedurals or police dramas, whatever you want to call them, that, the books that went right alongside with the show. And so I picked up High Heat, and I've got a few of these here in my collection. And they're just fun books. Just fun books to pick up and read. There's nothing, there's no Pulitzer Prizes in here, but they're just fun police books. So that was one. I saw this one, and I have read this by Frank Peretti. It's called The Oath, and I've read a couple of his other books, and he's a he writes some Christian, some scary, would you call it Christian horror books, maybe? I don't know if that's even a thing, but they could be a little bit dark, and they're scary. And I saw this one, and I had never seen it. I had never come across it before, and so I picked it up. It's called The Oath. It says, something sinister is at work in Hyde River, an isolated mining town in the mountains of the Pacific Northwest. Something evil. Under the cover of darkness, a predator strikes without warning, taking life in the most chilling and savage fashion. The community of Hyde River watches in terror as residents suddenly vanish. Yet the more locals are pressed for information, the more they close ranks, sworn to secrecy by their forefathers' hidden sins. Only the Hyde River's secrets are exposed as the true extent of the danger fully revealed. What the town discovers is something far more deadly than anything they'd imagined. Something that doesn't just stalk its victims, but has the power to turn hearts black with decay as it slowly fills their souls with darkness. And so Frank Peretti, excellent writer, thought I'd dig into that. All right, and so now here are, well, this one anyway, is Louis L'Amour. This is Milo Talon, and got a really cool cover. And of course, if you're out on BookTube, you know the big event that's getting ready to happen in June on the Range. And over these this last year especially, but the last probably 2 years since this event came on a couple of years ago, I've been picking up, Westerns. I enjoy the genre, and I've been collecting Louis L'Amour's. And so this is, like I said, Milo Talon. And it says, to Milo Talon, there is nothing finer than drifting the far, lonesome country. But times are lean, and Talon hires out for a job that suddenly has him hogtied to trouble. He's hunting for the long-hidden secret to a fortune in gold. Along with a beautiful woman, driven by a desperate fear, Talon is quickly caught in the gold-crazed treachery of liars, thieves, and murderers, tracking his every move. But when the fighting gets ugly, Talon's rule is plunge in and let the devil count the dead. And so, classic attitude for your Westerns, but you got him going into a kind of a tight spot right there. That's kind of a neat cover. I like these old covers. So that was one that I found. And another one that I picked up was by Emily Bronte, and it's Wuthering Heights. And of course, this is a classic. I know I've seen the movie. I am fairly certain that I've read the book. It's just been a long time, and it's one that I think I want to go revisit. And so I don't think I probably need to really tell you much about it, but this book is, let's see, how old is this one? This one's a little bit older. This is a 1964 book, so kind of got a neat cover there. I like that. It's got an old look. Of course, it's got a tear on the cover, but that's all right. It was only a quarter. Set against the dark and rugged moorlands of northern England, Wuthering Heights introduces two of the most startling characters in all literature. Heathcliff, an unfathomable mixture of savagery and gentleness, and Catherine, the woman he loved but drove to madness. This classic, unforgettable novel has truly been called the strangest love story ever told. And so picked that one up. Again, I want to say this was on the 1,000 books, 1,000 books to read before you die, that big thick book they came out with that had a bunch of those in there. And I've been kind of going through some of those, and I want to say I'm fairly certain that was on the list of books you should read. So this next one, I bought this one at Barnes & Noble, and it's because I've been going through, as you know, I'm a middle school teacher, and I've been reading, YA novels to kind of try to keep up with my kids in class, and then middle grade books. And so this is one, the Percy Jackson series, Percy Jackson and the Olympians. And this is book 2, The Sea of Monsters. I found this at Barnes & Noble. and it was, I mean, a decent price, $9 for a new book at Barnes & Noble's, fairly cheap when you're shopping there. But I like this Rick Riordan series, and it is my plan to collect the whole series, and I want this particular style of cover. And so that's something that I'm going to start doing, and slowly but surely as I'm shopping around. But found that, very happy to have that. I have read that before, but I wanted it in my collection. Next one is a Tim Green book, and again, like I told you, I'm a middle grade teacher, and I also coach, and so I got a lot of. We tend to have young men who come into my class, and they tend to say, "I don't like to read. I never read," and so I'm always trying to find books that'll maybe spark their interest to get them into reading, at least to pick up a couple of books by the time they leave middle school, and pick them up on their own, not just ones the teachers make them read, but have them go out and find stuff. That's always kind of my goal, because as you guys know, and as many of you, we all love reading, and we want to share that love. And so anyway, the Tim Green series, this is Best of the Best. It's one of his baseball novels, and the kids tend to like these. They're pretty popular on the shelves at school, and so I picked that up. Let's see here. We've got another one this one's Ray Raphael, Founding Myths, Stories That Hide Our Patriotic Past. And I have not read this, and I found it, and it was, $1.50 for a nice hardback, and it's in fairly decent shape. So I was pretty happy to find that. This is, let's see, I haven't been telling you publishers, sorry about that, but it says MJF Books, and it is a 2004 book. Now, I've heard of Ray Raphael, but I don't believe I've read Ray Raphael. So this will be a first one for me. It says, heroic tales still retold in our history books, such as The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere and Patrick Henry's Liberty or Death speech, reflect the romantic individualism of the 19th century rather than the truth the Caten's award-winning historian Ray Raphael, and the truth that our nation was a collaborative creation of the work of hundreds of thousands of dedicated patriots who seized control of their political destiny is actually a greater story, better reflecting the communitarian ideals of the Revolution era America and the democratic values of today. And then it's got some other stuff, but it kind of gives you an idea of what this is about. It's a story of many, many people that created our nation. So happy to have that. Now, what is a book haul without a book on Lincoln? And I found one. And this is The Lincoln Murderer Conspiracies by William Hanchett. And this was, again, $1.50. And so I will pay every day, all day, every day, $1.50 for a new Lincoln book. So that'll go well in my collection. Looks like it was possibly maybe a textbook or something. It's got one of those textbook stickers on there. But anyway, I don't think I need to try to read anything on this one. It's Lincoln Conspiracies. So kind of self-explanatory, but very happy to have that to add to my growing Lincoln collection. Here is a classic. I bought this one for $2, and this one I got at a Christian not used books. It's it was a like a Salvation Army type store. Anyway. And so I bought this. I got this in St. Joe, but it's a Civil War classic, The Life of Johnny Reb, the Common Soldier of the Confederacy by Belle Irvin Wiley. And many of you have read this, and I've heard people talk about it. I want to say, did Steve Donahue talk about this one? He may have talked about it, but it says on the back, when Belle Irvin Wiley's composite portrait of the rank-and-file Confederate soldier was published in 1943. It was enthusiastically received by professional historians and general readers alike. A half-century later, the book still is regarded as one of the best available accounts of the ordinary citizens who made up the Confederate Army. The Life of Johnny Reb is not about the battles and skirmishes fought by the Confederate foot soldier. Rather, it's an intimate history of the soldier's daily life, the songs he sang, the foods he ate, and hopes and fears he experienced, the reasons he fought. Wiley examined countless letters, diaries, newspaper accounts, and official records in constructing this frequently poignant, sometimes humorous account of the life of Johnny Reb. And he also wrote a book, The Life of Billy Yank, so yeah, the common soldier of the Union. And I think I have that one, and maybe I got both. I don't know, but this was in such good shape, I couldn't pass it up. It's like brand new shape, white pages still, crisp corners. I mean, you can't beat that. So I picked it up. I was very excited about that. Of course, I got a good Civil War collection here at the house, so that'll go well. All right, and then the last one that I picked up, and I picked this up for $4. It is a favorite story of mine, and of course, we've got that reading event going on right now about what is it? Spring of Adventures, Adventure Spring. I can't remember, but this one is about a boy who went out and sailed around the world by himself as high school age. And Robin Lee Graham was his name, and very, very excited to get this. I have read the actual novel before and absolutely loved it. Thought it was great. He's actually got a couple of different, and I say novel, not novel, it's a history book or a nonfiction work, but goes well with the adventure stuff. And this one is the same thing, except for it's a golden book, so it's like a picture book of his travels. And he wrote what was it? Three different National Geographic magazine articles back in the 70s, maybe 60s, 70s. I can't remember the exact date, but he wrote those, and I've read those, and I have them somewhere. I don't know where they're at, but I just love this story. It was definitely a story of adventure, and this boy was very, very brave to go out on this trip. And you can see, he starts out in Los Angeles, goes to Hawaii, goes down into the Pacific Islands here, kind of bounces around just north of Australia, and then he comes across, and he talks about he gets stuck in a typhoon, and I think the typhoon was down here, but he had some nasty weather coming across the Indian Ocean as well, and then got stuck in South Africa waiting for the monsoon seasons to change, and then finally came across, went through the Panama Canal, and before he returned to Los Angeles, and he ends up meeting his wife in the islands here, and then meets back up with her, if I remember correctly. He meets back up with her in South Africa, and then they sail the rest of the voyage together, I believe anyway. And they end up getting married and buying a house and starting a whole life together in a rural setting out in was it Montana, I believe. And they end up having a kid, and they're kind of out in the boondocks by themselves. And anyway, it's just a wonderful, wonderful story. If you've never read about Robin Lee Graham, and there's his picture when he was 10 years old. But highly recommend that if you're participating in the adventure stories. So anyway, that's what I picked up. BookTube. Sorry for talking so fast, but I wanted to get through it so that the video didn't last a whole hour. And like I said, I got to get my daughter to a birthday party. So hopefully maybe you saw something in here you might want to give a try. I got some, like I said, just a real quick recap. I got some Historathon books dealing with, the Greeks and the Romans. I got some adventure stuff. I got Civil War stuff. I got Founding Fathers. I got the Summer of Sport. I got middle grade March stuff. I got, I'm not sure where this one will fall in. Got some classics. Got June on the Range. I got Horror Mayhem. And where can we throw Richard Castle? I'm sure it'll go in there somewhere. But anyway, BookTube, I got a little bit of everything in this over these last few weeks. Been very happy with what I've been finding. A lot of good stuff that I'm going to like going through. Hope I found something that maybe interests you. Let me know in the comments section what you're reading. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And until next time, happy reading.